Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure having you all here at the annual CIADA Awards Dinner. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our Executive Director, John Brown, everybody.
Welcome, everyone. Continue doing what most of us do best, eating. And I just have a couple announcements before we bring up our Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Michael York, back. Just have a couple of announcements I want to make. First of all, again, thank you all for being here and making this event a successful one. We can't do it on our own, and we appreciate all of our dealers, our vendors, for coming out and supporting us. For those that know me personally, they already know what I'm about to say. And for those who don't know me, I just want to assure you that I'm not coming down with COVID. I don't have a sore throat or anything like that. I am a cancer survivor, and my voice is my voice. So, thank you. Michael York has his full line of duties and introductions to do, but I have an individual and then a group that I want to introduce real briefly to you. First of all, I want to introduce to you a new friend of mine who I met approximately a month and a half ago. This gentleman was taking one of our pre-licensing courses in South Carolina. We started talking, found out that he too was a cancer survivor. And while we were eating lunch, I finally worked up enough nerve to ask him, because this gentleman had come to our class, and he has two prostheses on his legs. I finally worked up enough courage to ask him. I said, "May I ask you what happened?" And he said, "Sure." And let me tell you, we've heard a lot about this event. We hardly ever have the opportunity to meet someone who was there. But I'd like to introduce, and if my good friend JD, who's seated right over here, will give us a wave. JD, man. JD was a former NYPD officer who was on the second wave into the towers and has since lost probably more of his colleagues, and was, by the grace of God, able to join us, and now wants to become one of us, a used car dealer in South Carolina. So I wanted to introduce you to him, because he's a very special man, not only for what he's done and what he's doing to be an entrepreneur and a used car dealer, but on the front lines of protecting America on that day that we will never, ever forget. JD, thank you for being here. And my throat just locked up on me. Most recently, we have added 2 committees to our structure. We've added a North Carolina PAC committee and a South Carolina PAC committee, and I want to introduce those folks, because before everyone gets out of here tonight, you're probably going to meet them. So as I call your name, if you'll just stand up so people recognize you so they'll know that when you're coming to them, you're speaking for all of the industry. And then we'll hear more about how important our PAC is later on. But from North Carolina, Steve Wedmore, Jerry Patrick, Chris Martin, Daryl Jackson, Michael Darrow, who's our chairman, Dan Height, Dale Matthews down here in the front, are all going to be helping us with our North Carolina PAC, and in South Carolina, of course, headed by our own Kevin Prendergast, Dean Canty, Larry Cameron, Malcolm Shaler, our own Marty Coates, and Laura Taylor from Charleston Auto Auction. So as you hear from these folks and myself going forward, not only tonight, but into the future, as you've heard in education classes, so much is changing. So I want you to know and understand and believe that as the CIADA, we are also aggressively attacking what may be an attack on our industry. And unfortunately, we all understand that in politics, money speaks, and we're going to have to do a good job of raising money and supporting our friends to help us beat back some legislation that will not be good for the industry. So on behalf of the CIADA, again, welcome. And Mr. Michael York, are you ready to come back? All right, let's give Mr. Michael York a round of CIADA welcome again.
We want to acknowledge, and I know John touched on it earlier, to all our platinum sponsors who made this week possible, and to our dinner sponsor, eBay Motors. How about a big hand for all our sponsors? We have a special announcement, and I'm supposed to call Marty Coates to the podium. So Marty, where are you? There you are. How about a hand for Mr. Coates?
Thank you, Mike. And folks, I'll try to be brief to make a special presentation. Joining me on stage, if they're here, Alan Douglas, if you'll come up, and Sammy Bernardo. Alan's with Stars GPS. Sammy, of course, is with ProGuard Warranty. Again, we appreciate the opportunity to break into your programming for tonight to make a brief special presentation. Since arriving on the scene more than a decade ago, John Brown has provided an exemplary model of courage, consistent hard work, and tireless devotion to advancing the independent automobile industry across the Carolinas, and in fact the nation as well. His efforts have resulted in legislative changes in the Carolinas, which not only improved dealer engagement with regulatory agencies, but also provided significant revenue increases for the association. His management prowess has directed the association through challenging financial times and now into a revival of prosperity. John displays a tremendous passion for expanding the training of new dealers in order that they might have the best chance to build a successful used car enterprise. He has championed diversity in our membership and in the organization's leadership. His work ethic is derived from his Midwest upbringing and his strong desire to help others first. All who have known him these nearly 11 years here can attest to the fact that he's more than a survivor. As was mentioned briefly earlier, he is indeed and has indeed endured the pains of a rare cancer with class, dignity, and humility. He has earned our praise, all the while not seeking any of it. It's because of these and countless other reasons that tonight Alan and Sammy and I are excited to announce the establishment of the John Brown Dealer Maker Scholarship Endowment Fund. This fund That's right. I don't know if this was a surprise, but we sure tried to make it one. And it's hard to do. John's got his fingers on about everything. This fund is created to honor John and the extraordinary contributions of his long service to us as executive director and to recognize his passion, again, for the development of better dealers. The endowment is made possible by the initial creation of the fund sourced by Coates & Associates, Inc., ProGuard Warranty, and Stars GPS. Each of the three companies have made a commitment to donate at least $1,000 a year for the next 5 years to create the base of the endowment. These invested funds, along with other contributions that will be received, will serve as the basis for one or more scholarships to be given to new dealers from both states to attend the annual convention and expo. The convention experience, as all of you know, provides a terrific opportunity for a new dealer to learn. And the cost of attendance sometimes, as John and I know from talking with so many of them, is oftentimes a hindrance. So the scholarship will help to defray some of the costs that are typically associated with attending the conference. Without boring you with all the details, with the blessing of the CIADA Board of Directors, a committee will be formed with representatives of the sponsors, those who have given and will give, as well as members from the Board of Directors to establish the nomination process, the guidelines, and put those things in place so the first awardees will be given next year and hopefully attend this convention next year. A plaque bearing John's name and the name of the scholarship recipients will be placed in the conference room, the Marshall Perry Conference Room at CIADA headquarters, and each year, those names will be added each year, as well as those recipients will be recognized, we hope, with your blessing each year at the gala for many, many years to come. And so, John, if you'll come forward and come on stage, there's a couple things we want to give you, but briefly before we present you with those things, I want to recognize Sammy Bernardo for a comment and then Alan for a comment as well.
Thank you so much. You know, I met John almost, what was it, like 2010, I think, 2011. And when I met him, the only day that I could see him was on Valentine's. So it was a choice I had to make. I called my wife and I said, sorry, I can't make it. And I met with John, and ever since then, I've loved the man, and he's been there for us. And on behalf of ProGuard Warranty and myself and the ProGuard family, John, thank you for everything you've done for us. Alan?
Sure. I'm not sure of Sammy's decision-making ability when he leaves Valentine's. I'm not sure I would be standing here if I made that decision. But we also have known John since he came on board. We've been partners with this association for many more years than that. And I saw an individual come on board in an association who had just made some necessary but difficult changes. And changes that were just hitting the core of some of what the association did. And I tell you, in John Brown, there's an individual here that proved worthy far, far beyond the job that he accepted, his caring for people, his caring for the dealers that are out there, and yes, the caring for vendors. And as Brendan will tell you, in the Capitol, the work that he does there on behalf of dealers in the legislature, just to me is unmatched by anyone. We also want to take this opportunity on behalf of us and Stars GPS, and for the many, many years that we have seen this association grow and have been fortunate to be a part of it, just say thank you to John for his tireless efforts that we know won't stop, they'll continue, and the battles he has fought, both personal and from the association, we've all seen and we all appreciate. So thank you, John.
So it's our pleasure now to recognize and present John with an honorary check. Somewhere, Sammy. Show me the money. And a plaque to adorn your office if you can find an inch in there anywhere to place it on your desk. While they're finishing that, let me just offer, if any of you would like to participate and be a part of the endowment fund, there's no time like tonight. See Sammy, Alan, or myself, we'd love to help you do that. And folks, again, recognize our friend, John Brown.
Well, Marty, and you should know more than anyone else that you never give a hack politician a microphone, and that's what you've just done. But Sammy and Alan, obviously, I love you guys. I love what you've done. It was a complete surprise. I had no clue. All I want to say is it's never been about me. It's only about serving my God and my family, and you are my family. Thank you.
Okay. We are full of surprises tonight. But the next thing coming is very predictable, if you've been here before. We have a number of special guests. And first of all, the first special guest I want to introduce to you is Colonel Kevin Schweitzo. Colonel, where are you? Are you here? I know you're here. Okay, walk slow now because I'm going to say a lot of good stuff about you. So Colonel Schweitzo, obviously the executive director of the South Carolina DMV, anyone who's been here knows that already, has heard him speak about that. He is the critical ingredient to so many positive changes that have gone on within the South Carolina DMV. No longer can you make jokes about the long lines, and Colonel Schweitzo gets a record daily on the average wait times of every DMV. Many other positive changes have come as a direct result of his leadership. So I'm excited to bring him to the stage and to call him my friend, Colonel Kevin Schweitzo.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a great day in South Carolina. And I appreciate the opportunity to come up and speak. It's very interesting that you've got the note to thank, I had notes on here to thank John for the many things he's done for CIADA. I've changed the words. It says congratulate. Many of you know that I spend way too much time in way too many meetings with way too many people that are self-important. But I will tell you, John is legit. John is real. John is probably the best representative this organization can have. From day one, he has represented every one of you better than any other individual I can think of. And I'm going to use the rugby analogy he used the other day. Most of you probably don't know what rugby is. It's sort of like football without pads, but John was what's called in the second row. and you've got 8 huge men trying to push 8 other huge men over a ball, and it's a very ugly, dirty, smelly sight. And John was in the second row, and the second row is known as the engine. And the engine is the one that if the engine works properly, you will drive the other guys across that ball. They are the least thanked individuals, but the most critical to winning a scrum. And I will tell you, that's what John does for DA every day. He's that silent guy, rarely gets the credit until today, thank God. But he drives the other team across the ball, and fortunately, they don't know that they've been driven backwards. So I want to thank John for being an absolute superstar and representing you so well, because I really think you did a great job. Let's give him a hand. I'm going to acknowledge one more person in here, a friend. Looks like he's getting ready to bail on me. JD, where you going, brother? I wanted to thank you, though, before you leave. Oh, good, because I want to thank you. He and I are both from New York. I'm a guy that was born in Harlem. He grew up in Bronx. We both had the good sense to drive through North Carolina and end up in South Carolina. Thank you, man. Only kidding. I went to Chapel Hill. I can get away with both of those. It's an honor to be here today, and among so many professionals, and I appreciate the professionalism each and every one of you espouse. I think I've told many of you, my father was a car dealer. He was a member of CIADA in Reidsville, North Carolina, and so I cut my teeth in the car business. Even sold, I think the last car I sold was 45 years ago. But you learn a lot in the business, and what I've learned is that when you belong to an institution like CIADA, it is professionals, and that's what I love. Men and women who honor American values and American traditions. And it doesn't come on out because in many cases, you know, the reputation's not there, but it is through actions like this organization that change people's feelings every day. You come by and you represent the profession honorably, and slowly but surely, we're turning the tide in terms of what the reputation is and what right looks like. You're men and women who also bring their families to Myrtle Beach, because we realize it's not just a matter of coming to work. Some of you have some outrageously long hours, and families who go ahead and have to put up with those hours 6-7 days a week, and you bring them here and you reward them as a part of that team because it's a family business. Unlike most other businesses, this business is a family business, and it often goes down generation to generation. You're men and women who have fought through COVID to keep the business alive, and that wasn't easy. As most organizations were finding excuses to shut down, you had to find excuses to keep it open. And that's not an easy deal. Yet you were successful enough to go ahead and do that. We need more businesses like the car dealers that are able to go ahead and fight through adversity. Nothing in life is worth achieving until you fight through adversity to go ahead and achieve certain goals. We watch other industries, like I say, they work hard to stay and work from home. If you did that, you couldn't sell cars. I mean, as the inventories are starting to deplete in this business, it's going to take a new mindset to go ahead and do what you do. You're going to have to probably get out and find out where those cars are and bring them to you, and get those people that aren't willing to get out and go to work to come and buy cars. But you know what? I see what you do each and every day. It's telegraphed by virtue of the number of transactions that you bring us from the car sales that you sell. I will tell you that a lot of the success and the recovery that is coming from the economy is coming from your business. And you've got a lot to be proud of, because it makes not only the community, but the state and the nation much stronger when you're able to overcome that adversity. And my job in all of this is obviously to go ahead and facilitate your sales by staying open. And that's our commitment to you. I can't speak for anybody else, but I can speak for the state of South Carolina. My governor, my lieutenant governor have charged me with making sure that we do not adversely impact your business, especially when you've got so many other things to overcome. Collectively, like I say, we've got to innovate to succeed. You've got to get on out. You've got to go against others. But I will tell you, one of the things that CIADA does is it allows you to share ideas. In many cases, everybody in here, very rarely are you competing against each other. You've got your own little niche. You've got your own little area. And most of the time, you can go ahead and share great ideas. And I'll share a short parable before I get on off over here. But do I have any Service Academy graduates in this room? Do I have any? No, none? One? None? There is one? You know what the difference between you and the rest of us is? We learned to plagiarize 4 years earlier than you did. Now, I'm just kidding a little bit because, I do respect my brethren in arms. We always take some fun and throw at each other. But one of the things we've got to do, I had a West Point 3-star boss that used to hate that expression, and he changed it on me. And I'm going to share what the change was to elaborate what I'm talking about, what I think CIADA is all about. And that was, the expression changed from stealing good ideas. He goes, good organizations, not good, great, but good organizations steal great ideas shamelessly. But great organizations share great ideas selflessly. You don't move forward without each other's help. If you just can only go ahead and take the ideas that exist in your brain and try to run your business in isolation, there's very little you're going to do to go ahead and jettison yourself through troubled times. But I've watched some of the discussions. I harassed some gentlemen in the lobby last night after midnight, and they're still talking business. But you know what they're doing? They were willing to share good ideas to make each business more successful. That's what teamwork is all about. And so if we're going to come through the Delta variant together, we don't go ahead and just take what's given us. We share those great ideas, not only tonight, maybe at the bar tomorrow, but specifically over the course of the rest of the year with every one of your teammates in CIADA, so that we can go ahead and continue to sell vehicles and, from my perspective, drive the economic engine for both North and South Carolina. So if even only regionally we succeed, we're better as a country and as a state, as a series of states. So thank you, John, for giving me an opportunity to talk. You all are special. You make it special each and every other time. And if I don't see you at the bar tonight, I look forward to joining you again here next year.
Thank you, sir. We're also very fortunate to have with us tonight a fellow independent dealer from North Carolina who currently serves as the Deputy Majority Leader in the North Carolina House of Representatives. Representative Brendan Jones is an advocate for small business. His constituents sure, yeah, we got time. We're gonna clap twice, so his constituents back home and for all the independent automobile dealers of North Carolina, the Honorable Brendan Jones.
Oh man, it's got some hard acts to follow tonight. Well, I just want to thank you for letting me be here. I do like to refer to myself for our North Carolinians as your pro-legislator. I am pro-God, pro-family, pro-life, pro-business, and I am definitely pro-dealer. And I get a lot from folks, and it is a sacrificing job, but one that I humbly love to do and love to put myself up to do. But the real sacrifice for someone that serves and is gone from their homes 4, 5, 6 days a week is your family. So I would like to get you to help me thank my family for letting me come out and serve you. So my wife Angela and daughter Savannah Grace and Ella, thank you for the sacrifice. Come on. Because I'm going to tell you, couldn't do it without that core just like with your businesses, we couldn't do the things we do without our father and without our families leading and guiding us. But I was elected back in 2016, and when I arrived in 2017, I had a goal to get things done. I'm a policy guy. I'm not a guy that's striving to get in the paper or on the TV 3 times a week. So I went there, boots on the ground, learned what guys to get with, started learning the real ins and outs of the House. Fast forward to 2020, I was reelected for a 3rd time. At that time, I was appointed by Speaker of the House, Tim Moore, to serve as the Senior Chair of Transportation Appropriations, the guy that decides where the dollars go in the transportation budgets. He also asked me to chair the policy side as well, to start writing new policies and better policies for not just the state, but for our industry. I own 2 dealerships, Ready Motors in Little Tabor City right nearby. We are one of the oldest dealerships in southeastern North Carolina. It's been in my family for 2 generations, and I'm a 3rd generation car dealer. I'm one of you. I understand the challenges that you face. I understand how hard it is to find cars, to find staff, and navigate bureaucracy within the DMV. Fortunately, I am in a unique position in the General Assembly to deal with these challenges, but few are. This is why I want to stress to you why it is so important to be a member of the CIADA. This organization does a great job of staying involved in the legislature and being in the process of making better decisions for us and our dealerships. When it comes to that, I want to take a few moments to recognize someone, especially for my North Carolina colleagues. Fred Bone. Fred has been an absolute pleasure to work with in the General Assembly. He knows the ins and outs of our business, but he also knows how to navigate the political side and deal with the government bureaucracy. Ladies and gentlemen, help me thank Fred Bone. Fred, stand up. I don't think you realize what a dedicated guy you have working for you. Fred is there when the doors open. Fred's there when the doors shut. Fred is sitting in the committee members' offices. He's in every, Fred, you do an outstanding job. And I just don't think, man, you're talking about a guy that's putting in 60, 70, 80 hours a weekend. And I mean, Fred, just thank you. As a member of the CIADA, thank you for what you do. And we've gave a lot of praise to John Brown, but folks, the guy deserves it. When I came in, John was one of the first people who made the trek to Raleigh to meet with me, learn about me, and I'm gonna tell you, he's advocated for you from day one. So John, thank you for everything you do with the legislature. As I mentioned, when I got to the General Assembly, I want to get things done. So as chairman, it has afforded me some opportunities to help push through changes that I've been working on for 3 years. So we started formulating with Fred's help and John's help, HB House Bill 650. Man, it's center stage for me. I mean, that's been the main piece of legislation I've worked on, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's going on with it. Things that in North Carolina we didn't realize. We couldn't do color copies. Color copies of driver license stemmed from a fear that we were going to do something illegal with those. So we're doing away with that. You don't have to worry about making those color copies or being out around with inspector. Dealer plates. Definitely in North Carolina, we've had a run now that we're running some plates that are old and tattered and battered, and DMV wasn't interested in making sure that we had nice plates. So now they're going to be renewed every 3 years. You're going to get new plates, help keep your numbers in sequence every 3 years. We're going to have that in. We're changing some stuff that came about from COVID with some electric protocols. We've done some things with electronic signatures. We're going to help make those stay law so they'll make it easier to do business. One big thing for me, and I know with many of you, is our friends that run the auctions. North Carolina has a real delayed process in renewing. For dealers that's been around for quite some time, I've been on the ground 20 years, we're renewing the same way we renewed 40 years ago with a big brown envelope, mailing it in, and it's always late getting back to us. If you don't have an active blue license, you're blocked from doing business with the auction. I'm directing North Carolina now to print a 30-day grace period on those licenses, so you don't have to worry about being blocked from the auctions to be able to do business. So that's going to free that up for you as well. Another change that I want to make was a lot of us and a lot of folks that came to me is about dealer hearings. Right now, the hearings are conducted by DMV's Hearing Division, which is a non-attorney hearing officer, serves as the judge, the jury, the executioner. On top of that, you know that a lot of times we're not even notified that the hearings are coming up, and we don't even have time to prepare for defense. Dealers deserve fairness. So we have directed the DMV to start a study of transferring the dealer license hearings away from DMV and put them in the Office of Administrative Hearings. Long term, hoping to make that a permanent change so you no longer have to face that. One thing we're doing, our sister state in South Carolina has adopted a print-on-demand tag. They had a little bit of heartburn with that, and I've been talking to legislators across the lines, and we hope to bring where we can print on demand our tags. But one thing we've done in the meantime, which was common sense legislation to me, your temporary plates, you now can go to your local LPA. You do not have to send off to Raleigh to get your temporary markers. You can go straight down to your local LPA and pick those up. There's a lot more to address, but as my North Carolina folks know, we're moving to Rocky Mount, change of administration as far as in the DMV. We got a new Secretary of Transportation. He's been great to work with. But I want to talk to you about one thing, and I talked to you the last time I got to speak to you, and it's been hit on tonight. Everyone who's got one of these, please pick them up. Pick these up. I want you to read that top line with me. Thank you for investing in the future of your industry. I had notes, but I'm gonna get off course. Folks, the goal in both states and across our nation is to close our doors. There's a strong movement to do away with what we do. And the only way we can survive is with good leadership within an association, and that association in turn helping get legislators and different elected officials in place. I know we all hate to give up a little bit of money, but I'm gonna tell you, if you want to survive, have something passed down to your family and be successful, it is imperative that you each take this with you, stop by the table if you can, if you got a check or credit card tonight, and invest in your future and your family's future. This is the only way we're going to survive as independent businesses. There's a hard push to change a lot of what we do. One piece of legislation that I blocked from happening, they wanted to change our 3% in North Carolina to 8 or 9%. They want to change our highway use tax. And Fred will tell you one of the most attacked things in the legislature is DMV fees. When they need something to attack, they attack us. And their philosophy is, well, you only pay it one time a year, but you know, guys, we pay that every day. We have to help our customers. So helping keep good people in place is really important, and it takes $1 to do that. So please reach out to your friends. I'm preaching to the choir. You're here, you understand it. Share this with your friends. I'm sure they got some copies they can send. Let's encourage, let's get our membership up. If each one of us go into our town and recruit one dealer, we can't get in here next year. And that'd be a great problem, wouldn't it, John? Cool. Well, I want to thank you for your time, and I appreciate the honor and the ability to serve you as your fellow dealer, the only dealer you've got in North Carolina legislature. But I'm available anytime, and my friends across, Colonel, you do such a fantastic job. I'd really like to bring you to the better Carolina. You would do well, be near Chapel Hill again. Well, folks, thank you so much for letting me share with you for a few moments. God bless and take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Mr. York, we've been trying to reach you about your extended warranty. How they even knew I was here. Joining us for the first time tonight are a number of dealers who are here for the very first time. How cool is that? Would each dealer, if you're here for the first time, you're part of the family now, would you just stand up? We've got a little something we'd love to give you. So, here, right back there. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Back here in the back. Yeah. And right back here, Madam Henry, we got a hand up back here. Thank you. Yeah, welcome. You heard John talk about that. Welcome to the family. And speaking of John and his family, I would like to introduce the family of Mr. aforementioned executive director. And they're all sitting right over here. Kate and all the kids, the grown children, as John says, right? Will and Margaret and Martha. Martha's husband Carter, and granddaughter Carolyn is probably past her bedtime. Yeah, so how about a hand for the Brown family? We are also pleased to have the new CEO of NIADA in the house tonight. Mr. Bob Volkman is here. Past CIADA CEO and longtime NIADA CEO, and our friend Mike Lynn is also with us here tonight. Mr. Lynn. And while we're talking about the NIADA, the National Association, let's give a huge Carolina round of applause to the NIADA leadership representing the Carolinas. CIADA is well represented on that national leadership team. Chris Martin, Easy Auto. Chris, would you stand? When I call your name, just stand, please. Chris is the chairman of the audit committee. Darla Boer is Region 2 Vice President. Darla, where are you? Michael Darrow is the NIADA treasurer. Mr. Darrow, where are you, sir? There he is right there. Darrell Jackson, secretary treasurer of the services board. Mr. Jackson. Billy Threadgill is chairman of the NIADA Foundation. There he is right over there. Also with us is the chair of the National Auto Auction Association, Miss Laura Taylor. Laura, where are you? There she is. Now that's pretty good representation when it comes to leadership for the Carolinas, so thank you all. I also want to introduce another special guest from the state of Texas and the Texas IADA. Teresa Orcone is here. Teresa, where are you? All the way back there. Thank you, Teresa, for making the trip from Texas. And from the great state of Ohio, the executive director of the Ohio IADA, Wendy Reinhardt, is here. Wendy, where are you? There she is. All right, thank you all. I'd also like to introduce you to all the individuals who made this week happen, the CIADA staff. They have worked for 2 years on this event after, a little misfire last year, and didn't complain at all. Well, they didn't complain much. So, as John would be quick to tell you, they are the best staff in the country. Controller Debbie Braswell. Debbie, thank you for all you do. Jane Harris, membership coordinator. Jane. Marketing coordinator, Michaela Haven. Michaela? And Madam Squeaky Henry, education director and trainer. Unable to join us here tonight is Director of Security, Mr. Leo. But if you come to CIADA, if you've never met Mr. Leo, he will give you a greeting immediately as you turn the door. So, he's actually probably sleeping on the job right now. So I want to give a special shout out and thank you to the registration and welcoming sponsor who has been a friend of CIADA for so many years. And you heard him refer to that earlier. We always count on him and always love seeing him here. Mr. Alan Douglas and his team at Stars GPS. Alan, thank you, sir, for all you do. And Kevin, where's Kevin? Kevin, all right, Kevin Compton in the back there. All right, here we go. We're going to hand out some hardware. The CIADA Scholarship Award winners. So a big thank you to our panel of educators that choose the winners independently of the executive director or the executive committee. This year we actually have 2 scholarship award winners. Our first winner from South Carolina is an excellent student, as you might imagine, and an excellent student athlete. He will graduate in the top 10% of his class and is viewed by his assistant principal as an excellent representative for the scholarship program. Another recommendation comes from one of the several, 5 currently listed on the application, nonprofits that he volunteers with. When he isn't getting A's on his schoolwork or playing on the varsity football team, it indicates that our winner understands his leadership responsibilities and diverse abilities to make the right decision. Nominated by Ravenel Auto Salvage of Goose Creek, our winner is Mr. Tristan Daniels. Tristan, congratulations. Our next winner from North Carolina is a 4.63 GPA. It says weighted. What does that mean? I don't know. 4.63. How do you even get there? But that's where she is. She's involved with just about everything in school, including sports. She volunteers for her community. She mentors special needs and disabled students. She reads to kindergarten kids. She's the vice president of the Beta Club. She's a dance all-star. And the list just goes on and on and on until it adds up to 4.63. It just makes me tired reading all that stuff. But get this, she's also interested in politics, listening to podcasts, and interning in various elected officials' offices. And her dog is named Nixon. Nominated by M&M Auto Sales, our winner attends Campbell University and was voted by her classmates as the most likely to be president. Our winner is Savannah Grace Jones. Savannah Grace, come on up. She is going to come up to the stage and get her hardware. And she's going to get a check later. We're good for it, so. Yeah, that's right. All right, congratulations to both our winners. The Directors Award recognizes dealers here for the first time. So we did that. The Directors Award is what we handed out a little earlier here, so I'm just going to take that page right there and lay that over there. Da, 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 da. Let's move along to the Veterans Award, which I think we all understand. Tonight, it gives us great pride to recognize veterans in our industry who've served to protect our country and our way of life, the freedom that we enjoy, and we cannot thank you enough. This award is presented to dealers who have served, to dealers who have family members who are serving, or to employees who are veterans at their dealerships. Would all of our veterans please stand? And industry as well. We got a little gift for you. Thank you very much. Thank you all very much. And a very special thank you to ComSoft and the Cooper family for sponsoring our veterans each year here at the convention. You get a cool little coin with all the services. I know, because I have one. Chip Cooper, thank you for your support. And now, independent dealerships across the nation contribute every day to their communities. That's no secret to anyone here. But the Greenville Auto Auction and CIADA believe that this kind of community involvement is what needs to happen. And they're beginning, I think this is the first annual opportunity to recognize those dealerships and individuals that have selflessly given back within their communities. So please welcome to the stage, to make the Servant's Heart Award presentation, Mr. Billy Willis, General Manager of Greenville Auto Auction. Billy?
A few months ago, we contacted John Brown, and quickly he got back to us. I'm not sure if he ever turns his phone off, and even late at night and all. So, John, thank you again for all that you do and contacting us very quickly on this. A little over 9 years ago, we had a great desire to first serve our local community, and it's been in our heart to do so. And we started doing that about that time. And then our mission was to then go beyond our own community and be able to serve and help other people that serve their communities. And it was very neat to see and heart-touching to see all the dealers that put in the videos, what you do in your communities. I know some of you didn't put it in. I hope you'll do it next year because we want to make this an annual thing. But we just want to say thank you so much, because I know many of you didn't want to put your name in because you didn't want folks to know what you do. So thank you for doing that. Then for all the ones that did do that, thank you for putting the videos in. They were very heart-touching. Part of our mission statement is to make the community in which we work a better place to live. And yes, this is the first year we're doing this, and the winner was voted on by you dealers. We wanted to give a $10,000 donation to that nonprofit of their choice. In this year's Servant's Heart Award, and like the Word of God says, it's more blessed to give than to receive. And help us all make it contagious for the rest of the year to give to our communities. And going into 2022, help us make it contagious. Because sometimes we look at it and say, well, we don't have, but boy, we're blessed. We're so blessed. And this year, Servant's Heart, Ciada, Greenville Auto Auction goes to Wheels for Hope for this year. Is anyone from Wheels for Hope here? Come on up here.
Thank you, gentlemen. Each year, the CIADA strives to recognize the very best of the best from among all our dealers, and this year is no different. The CIADA Quality Dealer of the Year Award is a worthy recognition of an independent dealer from the Carolinas. Our 2021-22 Quality Dealer of the Year Award is presented to a dealer who will represent CIADA throughout the year, and in June of next year, we'll be at the NIADA Annual Convention and the National Quality Dealer Awards live in Las Vegas. This year's winner has quite a story, starting out at a franchise dealership and eventually taking the CIADA PLE class and venturing out on his own. In his rookie season, 2010, his lot held about 10 cars, but he continued to grow, changed locations, and now regularly sells over 200 vehicles a year. It all starts with that thought in the back of his mind that he won't sell anything that he wouldn't sell to mama. As his dealership grew, his community involvement grew as well, giving back. As we've just referenced, you can find him working with the local schools for car donations, for the after prom, yearbook sponsors, or helping the YMCA with food, fun, and prizes. sponsoring baseball, softball, soccer, and cheerleading. One of his recommendation letters said this about our winner: he's a huge part of our success. Even in a year with COVID, this dealer made sure we surpassed the fundraising totals from the previous year. Another letter of recommendation talked about what this individual has done to help them, but it's what they said about him at the end of the letter, maybe that's most important. That he's been an instrumental part of our mission of promoting a safe and compassionate community. Folks, we can be viewed as successful in many ways. How big is your lot? How many cars do you sell? How many happy customers or repeat customers you have? But being known as someone who promotes a safe and compassionate community, isn't that how you want to be thought of when you're called home one day? Today, CIADA is one of this dealer's biggest cheerleaders. The 2021-22 CIADA Quality Dealer of the Year from Kelly's Automotive is Kelly Midget. Kelly, come on up.
Wow. This is a big deal for me. You guys know how tough this business can be. Just a couple years ago, I was up against the wall. I was frustrated, and I was thinking about getting out. And I'm glad I didn't. I've had a lot of good help, a lot of these conferences, as an example, the Mastermind Conference we attended Wednesday. I really want to thank those guys, Tracy, Troy, all the guys that put that together, everybody that puts this together. I literally wouldn't be here, standing here without those classes and without all the support. And I thank the association for putting this kind of faith in me and giving me this to represent you for the next year. It's really special to me. Thank you.
Congratulations, Kelly. See you in Vegas next year. And now, introducing the 2020-21 CIADA Executive Committee. If you would, please come forward and receive your officers' awards. Chairman Darrell Jackson. President Kevin Prendergast. President-elect Steve Wetmore. South Carolina Vice President Michael Threadgill. North Carolina Vice President Jerry Podrick. Treasurer Dean Canty. And Secretary Dale Matthews. How about a hand for your executive committee? And now, ladies and gentlemen, President Kevin Prendergast. Kevin?
I'll sure give it a try.
Good evening, everybody. A good bit of you know me. Please just bear with me with my southern colloquialisms that I usually speak with. I'd like to thank you for coming out and supporting our association for this, our 66th annual convention. Less than a week after our last convention here, 2 years ago, we received the unbelievable news and untimely passing of Steve Matthews. This was just a few days afterwards. How I can explain him is he was truly a larger-than-life gentleman. And if you knew him, you definitely knew that you knew him. If you could, please join me in a moment of silence in remembrance of him. Shortly after that time, I remember getting several calls from past presidents, friends of the industry, and even from the NIADA, wanting to know what was going to happen with our board to fill his position as president. With little to no reserve, I told him I was more than willing to step up and take the position. Do my best, although I may be calling on them for some assistance from time to time, because I could not say that I was prepared for that position at that time. With that said, I must say that I'm blessed with my wonderful wife, Leticia, who's always understanding and supportive when I'd have to go do association business, let alone, like y'all know, out to do the car business. And for Billy, Luke, Chris, Marty, and Larry, because they would always take their time to give me guidance through their experience whenever I'd reach out to them. So the first few months of my 2-year term was going along smoothly until we were in Dallas at a meeting. And this thing called COVID-19 came across the air. Well, we didn't know what that was. A few weeks later, time we're back in the Carolinas, this thing really hit. It had us all on our toes, scrambling from directions from a playbook that had never been written. Thinking it would pass soon, and most definitely by Easter, little did we know, we were all wrong. So then for your association, it went from classes to no classes, to not even be able to go into the headquarters to work. So now we had to learn this new thing called Zoom meeting, all while worrying about this association, where it was going to be, where's the memberships, how many dealers are going to go out of business. And so now more than ever, we need to be in contact with each other to handle the daily changes, because each time you turned on the news, it was a different story. A different city was shutting down. Not to mention, as it went on, a few months later, well, how are we going to have our convention? That's one of our largest things for this association. And then you, as well as I know, at the end, it wasn't going to happen. So now what? So we may have stumbled with decisions at hand a time or two, but we came out of it all right, and actually stronger than ever before with the help of our board. And I must tell you that we have a strong board here with no hidden agendas, and the best executive director in John Brown and his dedicated staff of ladies who always work tirelessly for us to make CIADA the greatest IADA there is. Myself, along with the rest of the board, understand that our names are just honorary titles, that I am just one vote and one opinion, and we all come together collectively for what is best for this association. In closing, I would like to share with you who weren't able to join us this morning at the annual meeting that we reported that with all the bad news, missing the convention last year, everything around the COVID, your executive committee was able to pay off the mortgage on the CIADA headquarters. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. So at this time, let's introduce you to your recently elected executive committee for the coming year. Elected at the annual meeting this morning, your CIADA leadership, Chairman Kevin Prendergast, President Steve Wetmore, President-elect Michael Threadgill, North Carolina Vice President Jerry Pedrick, South Carolina Vice President Dean Canty, Treasurer Dale Matthews, and Secretary Wendy Pfizer. Please give them a big hand. Let's all come up. We got to get another picture. Please come forward.
Stand right here.
And now I'd like to ask NIDA CEO Bob Voltman to join us on stage. Bob, thank you.
Yes. I'll introduce myself after this important thing. That way y'all can sit down. Been asked to charge you with your charge of office. You were elected because your fellow dealers had trust and faith in your decision-making abilities. I urge you to fulfill that trust and faith diligently as you serve your fellow dealers, your industry, and your dealer family in your positions of authority. If you agree to serve on these conditions of faith, trust, please signify by saying, "I do." Thank you, and congratulations to each and every one of you as you move ahead this year to achieve greatness for this association and your industry. Y'all, please join me in congratulating the 2021-22 officers of your association. Y'all can sit down. Thank you. And thank you all for having me. In October, the NIADA Board of Directors hired me as the Chief Staff Officer for the national organization. I sought this position because I wanted to work for a great association with great entrepreneurs. What I have found in the 9 months in my position is that this is an amazing organization with amazing entrepreneurs who are essential in your communities. People talk about the necessities of life: food, shelter, clothing. But in the United States, for most citizens, there is a fourth, and that's mobility. And that's what you provide to people who otherwise couldn't afford that mobility. We're going to build on the success that has been built by you, my predecessors, my staff's predecessors, over the past 75 years of NIADA, to build that success in our service to you, our dealer members, to our states, to strengthen them in their advocacy and their service to you. Great leaders like John and Wendy and Teresa, forget Jeff. Great leaders like Jeff. We're going to work to strengthen them. We're going to build on our education resources By combining our forces at the national level, the state level, we know that our dealer friends, our vendor friends, have education resources. And we're going to pull all that together so that we can better serve you as you educate your employees. We're going to build on our information and research to help you better run your dealerships. And we're going to advocate for you like we have never advocated for you in the past. For the first time ever, NIDA has full-time staff in Washington, D.C., working the Hill, working the agencies every day. You see, Washington is not the Washington you see on TV. For most industries, now, if we were the gun industry, it is what you see on TV. But for industries like yours, it's what you heard the colonel say. You have to be there. You have to interact every day. It's what your lobbyist said early this morning. It is an everyday thing. Washington is a very small town in which the residents all live together, pray together, send their kids to the same schools, shop at the same grocery stores. And if you're not part of that, you can't be as effective. And so we're going to build on that staff in Washington, D.C., so that we can be there every day advocating for you at the federal level, because you're either at the table or you're on the menu. This is your association. This is your voice. And my staff and I are here to serve you. And I am grateful for that opportunity. I look forward to getting to know all of you and how you do your business, because you are amazing. And what you do is amazing, and the impact you have in your communities is amazing. And I hope to see all of you later this month in San Antonio. Thank you very much. One more thing, because when we were talking before, John and I each served one of the greatest presidents that we've ever had, George H.W. Bush. But I didn't know you played rugby. So our younger son played prep school and college rugby. He was a tight head prop. So he was one of those guys you were pushing. And my wife is here, and our son, we wouldn't let him play football. So we let him play rugby instead. We were totally misinformed. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir. Well, I've just been handed this late-breaking development that Charleston Auto Auction has pledged $1,000 for the next 5 years for the John Brown Dealer Maker Scholarship Endowment Fund. I'm just going to make a wild prediction and say that will not be the last. So, yeah. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your new president, Mr. Steve Wetmore.
Good afternoon. I'm not one that usually speaks in front of large crowds. I'd say this is probably the largest crowd I've ever spoke to. I don't want to laugh the whole time, Sammy. But thank you, everybody, for being here. And thank you for allowing me to serve as the president of the CIADA. It's really an honor, and it's humbling to serve with such a great group of independent dealers such as yourselves, and on the other dealers on the executive committee as well. This is your association, and I'll keep it that way. The executive committee is here to serve all of our members and work together with the national organization, the NIADA, to make our industry better. With your help, we'll continue to make it better. The CIADA is in the best shape ever, financially and staff and with our executive committee. The membership we represent is the very best in both North Carolina and South Carolina. Our relationships with vendors and auctions and the NIDA is the strongest ever. My plan as your president is to keep it that way and build upon that foundation that we have worked for so hard to achieve. I can't do it alone, of course. I need your help. And I'm confident when I reach out and ask you for help to help continue building the CIADA into the best IADA in the nation, I'm sure you'll answer my call. After talking to quite a few of you at the convention, new dealers I haven't met before, everybody wanted to know, how do I get involved? That's positive. How can you get involved? We need more members to grow. We need more members to grow the association and help fight legislation that's affecting your dealership and the non-members. We're all in this together. We know people that aren't members. We need to ask them, hey, come on, join. Come to our convention and get something out of it. Who here hasn't gotten something out of this weekend? I mean, no matter what you go to, whether it's a national, an independent, you're gonna take something back. You usually take too much stuff back and you can't implement it. That's what happens to me. But we need to encourage our dealer friends that are not members to become members, and they need to join now, and they need to get involved, because not only is this our livelihood, it's their livelihood too. I want to keep it short and sweet. It's been a long week, and everybody wants to get out and party, drink, or do what you all do. Get up to your rooms, it's the last night. That's it for me. I really look forward to your help.
We interrupt our regularly scheduled program. It's true. Jack Davis and the Dealer Solution has pledged $1,000 for the next 5 years for the John Brown Dealer Maker Scholarship Endowment Funds. I mean, I would love for you guys to get out of here, but the longer we keep going, I'm thinking this thing's going to just go right through the roof. So, but no, we got to go. We got things we got to do. So, thank you, Mr. President. Cox Automotive and their sponsorship of this event, their support for this association over all these many years, your support to the CIADA, as well as virtually every organization that the dealer touches, is better because of what you do for us. And Cox and their sponsorship of the President's Ring is vital to the ongoing success of our association, and it means a lot to the individuals who wear that ring. To present the President's Ring on behalf of Cox Automotive, no stranger to the CIADA or the automotive industry, please welcome to the stage Vice President of Industry Partnerships at Cox and current President of the NAAA, Julie Picard. Julie?
Thank you very much. Good evening. On behalf of the entire Cox Automotive family, Cox is proud to honor the CIADA president each year. This particular tradition is a really important milestone to reflect on. The President's Ring reflects the ceremony, a milestone, if you will, as the President moves on to Chairman. It represents you with a unique opportunity to reflect on your time as the leader of independent dealers with the CIADA. It also sets the standard for the future leaders of the organization to build upon your leadership. The CIADA President's Ring is a symbol of success. The achievements you have helped usher in, but it's much bigger than that, because it is a reminder that you are part of something that is much larger than yourself or your individual dealership. The last 2 years have been like no others. The pandemic has altered everybody's life, regardless of the industry or the size of your dealership. Because we were unable to hold the CIADA annual meeting here in Myrtle Beach last year, the Cox family was unable to join with our CIADA family in the presentation of this award. On behalf of the Cox Automotive family, I would like to ask Dale Matthews to join me on stage. Nearly 2 years ago, the CIADA family lost a member. President-elect Steve Matthews had just begun his term as president when he was called home. 30 years earlier, Steve and his wife Dale started Matthews Motors in 1994. Steve and Dale opened Matthews Motors in Clayton with 3 cars and a boat. Steve became known to the community as the walking man's friend. Steve and Dale built Matthews Motors into one of the largest independent dealerships in the Carolinas today. They expanded to locations in Goldsboro and in Wilmington. Matthews Motors has been recognized as a Quality Dealer of the Year and was presented the Cox Automotive Community Service Award just a few years ago. On behalf of Cox Automotive and the CIADA family, we would like to present to Dale Steve's President Ring. Chairman Prendergast, if you would join me at the podium, please. On behalf of Cox Automotive, I would like to present Kevin Prendergast with his President's Ring. Thank you. As President-elect, Kevin served less than a week before he started the role as President. Kevin Prendergast, without any hesitation, took over the reins of the CIADA organization and made sure that Steve Matthews' goals and vision would remain in his focus for the remainder of the term. Thank you. No one could have anticipated that just some 4 or 5 months later, the COVID-19 pandemic would embrace the world. No one could have anticipated what happened or what would happen over the next year and a half. President Prendergast and his leadership style was perfect for the unknown. Kevin's no panic, keep it simple, and stay focused on what you can do attitude helped CIADA and our membership through the most difficult times of our lives. CIADA, under Kevin's leadership, continue to lead the IADAs throughout the country. From face masks to virtual annual meetings to Zoom education classes, CIADA did everything it could to support the membership and the industry. Now serving out the remainder of Steve Matthews' term and serving his own term as president, we want to honor Kevin with his own president's ring, which we all know he earned. On behalf of Cox Automotive, congratulations, Kevin Prendergast.
Thank you, Julie. It's just about that time. Again, we want to thank Cox Automotive for all they do, for their support of CIADA, and for the President's Ring. So it's not over yet. It's time to give away some money. But yeah, there's a couple of people like, I'm ready, let's go. But first, the auction items have been on display throughout the evening, and following the drawing for the grand prize of $10,000, the auction will close and the high bidders can claim their winnings, pay for their items. So, here we go.
All right, so far, our good friend Jerry Barker from Greensboro Auto Auction has pledged $1,500 a year for the next 5, so come on up and let me know what you want to pledge. Thank you.
Buckeye Dealership Consulting has pledged $1,000 for the next 5 years. Thank you very much. Matt with Dealers Auto Auction pledges $1,000 for the next 5 years. That's since Kevin's announcement, so somebody's tallying all these up. I don't do that. I don't do math. So, and there's an anonymous gift, someone who didn't want to be recognized, but they will contribute $1,000 for the next 5 years to the John Brown Dealer Maker Endowment Fund. Thank you all very much. Well, at the time we were doing the math, that we had a total of $40,000 pledged over the next 5 years, which, with the gracious match from the Services Board, it's $80,000 that has been pledged. Which is just awesome and amazing. But before I could even write all that down, Danny and all our friends at Peak Performance Team has pledged $5,000, which will be matched. That's $10,000. And then Dale at Matthews Motors has pledged $5,000, matching $10,000. That's $100,000 for the John Brown Dealer Maker Endowment Fund. Thank you all very much. 252 is the winner of $10,000. And there's Darla right there. 252 is Deal Depot and Darla Boer. Thank you to Fun Cars, who have also made a contribution to the John Brown Deal Maker Endowment Fund. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for making this such a special week. We really appreciate you having us here for the 66th anniversary celebration, convention, and an expo. Don't forget about tomorrow morning, hour of prayer, 9 o'clock. Be safe going home. God bless. We'll see you next year.